Hey guys, what's going on? I come across this video. I've seen about 15 seconds of it. It is from Officer Tatum. It's called Scott Adams Risk It All and tells white people to stay away from blacks. Hey, before I start the video, I got a question for you guys. If you could, let me know in the comment if this went on whenever you were in school. Nowadays, I guess it could still happen, but every time I went past any bus stop or been behind a school bus, it's like there might be one white kid, and that's it. So it's mostly not white people. That's why this whole we're 70-some% of the population, it blows my mind. Where I live at, it ain't. That's for damn sure. But no, whenever I was in middle school, you know, I've said in other videos where they used to pick and call us like the Oreo because I was the only white kid that sat with the black dudes. But now when I hit high school, you know, a lot of the white people they either went redneck or country, and then you had the rich preppy snobs, then you had the skateboarders, and then there was about 10 of us white kids that just, you know, we got along with everybody. We hung out with whoever, but we didn't like dress a certain way or talk a certain way. But I noticed a lot of my black friends, it's almost like they withdrew from being around white people, which is almost like, you know, it's similar to, I guess you would call prison, where your skin color, you're automatically going to go to your side. And that was really strange because I knew my friends ever since I was like 7. I played football with them through middle school into high school, and it was just really strange when I seen that where some of them, they even went to the ghetto part. Like, they not saying they went to the ghetto, I'm saying they started acting that way and started changing the way they, like, everything about them started, their whole aura changed. And I was just curious, did that happen to you? Was it like when you were in middle school, everyone was like, you know, cool and shit, and then when you went to high school, did it kind of fracture off into different groups, or no? Anyway, let's get into it.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
Hold on. But was he wrong, though? This video is brought to you by the Officer. 22% off the entire store. He said, did you see, hold on a second. Did you see what he said? Now, I don't know how many stones he gonna have to take, but the brother said, white people, stay away from black people.
And all right, so here's my thought on one, the white liberal women, they drive me nuts. I can't stand them. They always make everything about them, whether it's BLM, whether it's Palestine, Gaza, whatever. You always got a white woman standing in front. DEI, white woman. That's what DEI is, a white woman. It isn't. It has nothing to do with black. It's white women. But if you're out there protesting for them, yeah, the person beside you knows that, you know, you're for that side. But if you end up, like, just say you end up in a situation and you're getting robbed by someone that's black that wasn't at the protest, they don't know, and honestly, they don't care. Honestly, they don't care. So standing out in the street with a cardboard sign, you know, talking about you're standing up for black people, when honestly, they don't want. I've seen multiple videos where it's like black people are tired of white people being all up in their shit. So let them have it. Do what they got to do.
But was he wrong, though? But I'm gonna put this in perspective, because I know a lot of people are losing their salvation. And my wife is white, and she wrote a comment on his thing, kind of defending what he said. And
you know, that right there is something I've noticed. Like Stevie Knight, his wife is white. The Hodge twins, theirs are Hispanic and Latin, whatever. Then his is white. I think Kingdom Reacts. I think his is black. But no, I just noticed that where a lot of these successful. Oh, and what's his name? He's not the black Republic, not the black conservative. Dang it, I can't think of his name right now. But his wife is white, and I've really noticed that it's kind of like the black guys that have white wives are just popular on YouTube. I guess, I don't know, or they're successful, however you want to put it. But that's just something I've noticed. I know there's plenty of black guys that are married to black women that are popular on YouTube. I'm just saying, I don't know it. I haven't seen them or heard them. Shaq, No Life Shaq, his lady's black. So
And
Shaq
she
and Kingdom
getting
are
drugged. But you know we don't care because people are nutty. But
Exactly.
listen to what Scott Adams said, and I want you to think to yourself while you're listening, is what he's saying not true? And then I'm going to prove to you that everything he say about the way black people feel about white people, not all, but there's a lot. And then I'm going to prove the
Majority.
fact that black people say the same thing he said. And nobody's outraged when black people say it. So how's this?
Dude, I've noticed that. I mentioned this in another video. You know the kid that was standing on the subway? I don't know if he was black or Hispanic or what. But it was a kid on the subway wearing a MAGA hat. And the lady, some dumb white lady, tried to grab his hat and she fell face first chasing him. One thing that nobody has brought up about that clip, she calls him a racist for wearing the hat. It was his response that got me. He said, "How can I be racist?" I'm so tired of black people thinking they can't be racist. Not that I know any. I've just seen so many videos online where they're talking about, how can I be racist? What the fuck you mean? Do you know what racist is? Or have they worn that word out so much to now it has no meaning at all? Which is it?
How's this man a racist when what he's saying is true and black people say the same thing he's saying? I'm going to show you in a minute, but listen to what he said. Roll the clip.
You know, nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me.
And that's the thing. A couple of them might have run in with cops. I've had run in with cops many a times. White, black, doesn't matter. I don't think I've ran into a Hispanic cop. Not one that still has the accent. But no, I might have ran into one that is a descendant of Mexicans or whatever, but I don't recall it. It's mostly been black cops I've had to deal with. I've had a few white cops, and to me, the black cops were worse on me than the white ones were. But they, maybe they were having a bad day. I don't know. Yeah, and there was something else I was going to say, but I can't think of it.
Right to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Oh, what it was is, it's like, okay, the government gives out government housing, and yes, the government did destroy anyone that accepts government assistance. Yeah, you're not supposed to have the man in the house, so whoever that is, it can be whites, blacks. But anyhow, they destroyed the black family for sure. The government did that. But like the hoods, I hate that they're hoods, but it's all blacks there. So why are, I don't know. I'm gonna stop.
With them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the away.
That's what I was saying, is there's no white people in the hoods. That's where I was going with it. I'd lost my train of thought for a second. But no, usually the black people that cannot stand white people are the ones that are like deep in the hood. Usually. But yet they don't come in contact with white people. Is it because they're brainwashed? I'm assuming that's pretty much what it is. They've been told they're a victim, even though there's NFL players, basketball players, rap stars. You can do anything you want. You put your mind to it. And there's a million things I wish I would have done that I didn't do. But you can't change the past. You can only change the future. So if you ever have any issues, just keep your head up and keep trying.
Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this.
There's not.
This can't be fixed.
No, it's because, look, oh, man, slavery has been over with. I mean, technically everybody is a slave to the government. If you want something nice, you have to work for it. If you don't care, that's fine. You don't have to work. You just won't have anything. But they're still holding a grudge on us. And yet, growing up in the 80s, in the 90s, my neighbor was black. My best friends were black. But there's nothing I can do to change what they, like, just even my closest friends, they knew I wasn't racist. That don't mean some other black person doesn't think that. You know, there's no way to make everyone happy, ever. Doesn't matter what race you are, you cannot make everybody happy. You can't. But blaming an entire race for something where they were also slaves. The very first slaves to this country were Irish. That's how they got the name redneck.
Right, this can't be fixed.
I can't believe he said it out loud. I cannot believe he said it out loud. But we'll finish this. In your mind,
you just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a...
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're going... I mentioned this in another video. There used to be a mall called, Carolina Circle. Carolina Circle Mall. Used to be like a good place to go. Then it got ran down. The hood spread to it. So then all the stores left. And they went to Four Seasons. And then they put a police station inside that old mall and whatnot. I don't even know if that's still around or not. But as soon as it starts happening, then everyone starts going to the other mall. Now it's hood. And it's like, okay, so you can move to a new neighborhood. That's what white people have been doing, is moving to get away from what's coming. And then eventually, it might take 20 years. It might take 5 years. Either way, the population just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And no one wants to live in a place that's shitty. So they're just going to move somewhere that's nice, which is where you move to.
A very low black population, because unfortunately there's a high correlation between the density, and this is according to Don Lemon.
It's true.
So here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood, there were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods.
Now, they're getting ready to play this. I just want to tell y'all a little bit about me that don't know. I grew up in a trailer park. I grew up in a 1-bedroom trailer. I slept on my couch until I was 15, almost 16. We had moved into a duplex. Everyone in the trailer park, there was black people there, but everyone was poor. I knew of 3 black families because there was 3 black kids. Then, there was a bunch of people that didn't have kids that lived out there too. But we were all poor. But there wasn't violence, there wasn't shootings, none of that. Why? It could be the time we grew up there, because now, fuck that place. I wouldn't go back there. Nope.
Respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several.
Yeah, now that's true. See, we didn't have trash everywhere. I can't stand that. Like, my neighbors where I live at now, they're Hispanic, but their kids are horrible for just dropping trash, and then it blows, gets in my yard, and then when the lawnmower catches it, then it fucking goes everywhere. That shit's irritating, man. Why you gotta throw your shit on the ground? I don't think they do it necessarily on purpose. They just definitely don't pick it the fuck up.
Predominantly,
and I'm not talking about what they're talking about. I'm talking about my
rarely,
neighbors.
if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day, I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away.
Now, did Don Lemon get canceled for this?
You know what I think that has to do with? It falls back to the government giving out free housing. This is my example of that. If you have to bust your ass to get a car, bust your ass to get it, you're barely getting by because you got that car payment. You gonna let your homie smoke in it? You gonna let him eat food in it and drop food everywhere? No, you're not, because you had to bust your ass to get it and you're still busting your ass to keep it. But now, someone gives you a car for free, you ain't got to work for it, and you know damn well you'll get another free one if that one messes up. Are you going to take care of it? You're not. I don't care what you say, you're not. Not like you would if you paid for it. That's how it goes with government housing. They give it to them. It's basically free. I knew a guy that had 3 jobs, paid $12 a month. He had 3 jobs. He paid $12 a month. He was scamming the system. But when you grow up like that and not having that responsibility, believe me, my ex-wife was on Section 8. I know there's some people that rented houses to her that wish they would have never, ever, 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 ever met that girl. Because they would tear it up, knock holes in the wall, rip out the carpet, all kinds of shit. Because they didn't care, because they're going to go get another one and another one. That's just how that's.
I want us to be in. Did Don Lemon get canceled for this?
Yeah,
this
but
is what he said. Now I got
man.
way more evidence than this, but let's keep going.
Being honest here.
So even Don Lemon sees a big difference in your own quality of living based on where you live and who's there.
Does anyone agree with me? The fact, okay, black people are the ones that are oppressed. So the person that supposedly isn't oppressed, they get to compete with their race, which, you know, like I'm a white man. I get to compete against white man. And I get to compete against the oppressed that, you know, these DEI hires, which I haven't really had to deal with that. And one of the reasons is because I do electrical work. In 25 years that I've done electrical work, I've known two black electricians. No, three. Then when I did work somewhere else, it was under Duke Power. I worked at a place there where you didn't have to have any experience. And yes, there was probably about 5 black guys there that, you know, they come in as helpers and we taught them. And then once we got, they knew the basics of what we did there, then they could go out and do it on their own. But we didn't actually do the hard work of electrical work. Now, we did some high-powered electrical work, but it wasn't anything like running outlet switches and all that. It was just, you know, bringing it into a panel. But no, I was just going to say, damn, I've only, like, before I worked at Duke Power, which was 6 years ago, I had only knew of 2 black electricians. Why? I don't know. Then I was on construction sites. I was in residential construction sites. You just didn't see them. And my friend growing up, Dedrick, his dad owned a concrete company, laying brick. He lays brick now today. He's always been a hard-working black man. But I'm just bringing up, I never see him in the construction business. Why is that?
So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's no longer a rational impulse.
Right.
And so I'm going to...
and the only reason I agree with him is, like I said earlier, because, yeah, there'll be a handful that know that you're trying to help them. Then there's going to be a shit ton that do not know that you've ever tried to help. And then you got the other ones that don't want you to help. Which, that's the way I've always seen it, because nobody's tried to help me. None. Not the government. Nobody. That's what I was meaning by, you got everyone saying, the blacks are so oppressed. Then you got governors like the governor of New York saying black people don't know what a computer is. What the fuck are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
I'm going to back off from being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like I've been doing it all my life.
I don't think that it's necessarily just a black thing.
The only outcome is I get called a racist. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white.
It's getting that way with every race. These young kids nowadays, they don't respect their elders. The fact of keep respect for yourself, respect the places that you're at, all of that is out the window. You see them in California, and they're just brown. A lot have been Hispanic. But they're just destroying gas stations. They come in 100 deep and just destroy it. You know why? Insurance will pay it. They act like this person doesn't have to pay the insurance company, and when they get robbed, that their insurance doesn't go up and they're not going to raise the cost of every single thing you threw that you stole and broke. They're going to get their money back. They're not going to go broke. And if they do go broke, they will shut down and you will not have anything in your neighborhood to go to. That they don't think this shit through. They just think insurance is free money from the sky and no one has to pay for it. Meanwhile, your drink, instead of being $2, now $4.
It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying. Totally not trying. And there we go. You didn't expect that today, did you?
Go ahead, Tatum, get them.
But those who don't want to focus on education, you just need to get away from them. Just get as much distance as you can. That's my recommendation. And I'm also really sick of seeing video after video of black Americans beating up non-black citizens.
See, now growing up, I used to be jealous of how say there's a black man getting jumped by or getting in a fight with a white guy. Say he's losing the fight. Another black man will jump in and help him. White people ain't like that. You sit there and watch a white man get beat down or jumped by 2, 3, 5. Nobody's jumping in to save him. What's that comedian's name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. I can picture him. He's got a show with Bear. I can't think of his name. Anyway, he had brought that up where they'll sit there and just watch. And it's like, it's sad because white people don't have, I guess it's not tribalism, but it's like, I don't know, man. The world's changing and it sucks. But I'm going to shut up for the rest of this video.
I realize it's anecdotal and it, doesn't give me a full picture of what's happening. But
right. Every
damn day I look on social media and there's some black person beating the shit out of some white person.
All right. And I'm pretty sure there's
That's why everybody needs to carry protection, period. You need to carry protection.
a lot more video here, but this is just the video I could find and extract some of what he said. Now, I want you to ask you this question. Is what he said completely wrong?
No.
Now, I know that he must be coming from a reactive state, probably coming from a hurt place. And personally, I don't necessarily agree with everything he said and how he said it. However, 90% of what he said, as a black man in America, I agree with what he's saying.
I've noticed that lately. There is a lot of black influencers coming out saying they don't want nothing to do with the black culture or the hoods. They're done with it. I think I call it ghetto fatigue. It's just tired.
Let me just give you an example of another black man saying exactly what Scott Adams said. Don't
She always said that Texas tattoo right there. I don't recall that one.
believe me. Listen to a brother from the hood, and I know that Charleston is from the same hood that I grew up in, and I didn't grow up only in the hood. My daddy and my mom and them helped us to make different decisions, but I know what it's like to be in the hood. My cousin lived in the hood. We used to go over their house, and we know. Listen, When you grow up in that environment, you know what it is. I went to Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, right in Stop 6. I know what it is. All right, let me watch the black man say exactly what Scott said.
Wearing a white my house shirt in the white folk neighborhood. Who want to live a bunch of and you got this kind of money? Please. who want to live a bunch with this kind of money? Everybody trying to get to the white folks neighborhood. We all live. Y'all didn't get mad at Snoop Dogg. He live around white.
And that's what I was mentioning earlier about the mall that, you know, it got ran down and then eventually turned into a police station, and then everybody went to the next mall, the Four Seasons Mall. And then now it's ran down, but now you got online, you can just order shit. And that's one reason why some of these places are closing, is because people don't, why go out to the mall on a Friday afternoon or Friday night, risk getting robbed, jumped, any of that shit, or have to deal with all the hoodlum crap running around going crazy, when you can click a couple of buttons on your damn computer or your phone and just go on about your business and not have to do that.
White folk, y'all ain't mad about Jay-Z and Beyonce. He got some money, went all around white folk, so they just being hypocritical. I mean, we all want to get us some money and go live around white folk.
The thing is, no matter how much money you give people, it ain't gonna be enough. It's always gonna be something. Because, you know, you give them each $1 million, it's going to get spent so fast, then they going to be wanting more. Or the next generation will, because they didn't get $1 million. Because you got to think the 40 acres and a mule shit, that was how long ago? And if each family had, just say, they had 4 kids. Each generation, 4. Then you got 4, 4, and 4. So you got 16. Like now the population has exploded. Now now it might be equal to getting $50,000 in a hoof. Because you got to divide it amongst 82 people. Get what I'm saying?
At least I know I do. I want to live among white folk and go outside and see them white women walking them dogs with the pools in the backyard, and I ain't got to worry about them causing.
Speaking of, I gotta walk mine here in a minute. All 3 of my dogs ready to go.
No problem shooting up. We want the kids to have a better life with our black people. We want homie.
Now, one man's statement, that doesn't mean that's everybody. But I'm telling you, name an athlete, name a millionaire, billionaire that's black that live in a black neighborhood. And you can't count Atlanta because that's where all the black people live in one spot. So there's Baldwin Hills or a couple areas, but around the nation, there is no. Find your favorite player. Where does LeBron James live at? Where does Colin Kaepernick buy his house at? Where does Black Lives Matter, Patrice Cullors buy her houses at? With your money that you donated to Black Lives Matter. She went and bought houses in predominantly white areas. Not a single investment in the black community. As the founder of Black Lives Matter.
Like I meant, that's exactly what I'm saying. Her black life matters. Because she ain't helping no black people whatsoever. Only way she helped them was by getting out of the hood.
The most influence out of any organization probably ever in American history. And the black woman running that company was hoodwinking y'all, stealing y'all money, and went and bought a house in the white neighborhood.
6 hours.
Name one. Find them. Activists. Jesse Jackson. Al Sharpton.
And that's the thing I've noticed, and I wish a lot of people would start realizing. All these black so-called, like Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they've made it. They're at the top. They're telling you, you can't make it because of your color. But their color didn't bother them. It's a scam. That's why. It's all a scam. And the thing is, every time they say they're going to do something for you, they getting either money to say what they're doing, or they're taking your money at the same time.
Where does Benjamin Crump live? I guarantee you these people do not live in predominantly black areas.
They don't.
I'll say this, and then I'm going to show you why I think Scott Adams had made mention about how black people have a disdain for white folks. But I'll say this: where's the most dangerous places to live?
Hood.
Go to Dallas. Where's the most dangerous place to live in Dallas?
Hood.
South Dallas.
I don't know.
South Oak Cliff.
I don't know.
Fort Worth. Go down to any city. California, LA. Why?
I also mentioned this in another video. If you look at the black populations of every state, the one with the most black people in it is number one in murder rates. Second is also second. I think at the time I seen it was probably 5-6 years ago. It was Michigan and Baltimore. And I know New Orleans is up there. Dude, it's a correlation. Look at Baltimore. It's like, I think 90-some% black or 88% black, and then the murder rate is through the roof. Not including all the drugs added in there, all that fentanyl shit, bunch of zombies. White people too.
Crenshaw and Slauson. We're gonna go Baltimore.
There
go
you go.
Go to Florida. Where the hood at?
Jacksonville. Boy, and I'm going to tell you now, I'm from the South. And I've been to Florida before. I ain't never lived there. But I'm going to tell you now, down here in the dirty dirt, whoo, buddy, they get your ass quick. Y'all think the South is soft. You sadly mistaken, dog.
It's where the black people at. And I'm not saying it's somehow because you black is the way. It's the culture. But let me let you listen to how black people talk about white folks. And then you tell me how everybody's mad at Scott Adams for saying this, but people like this get on TV, have a talk show, write a book, and listen to what she's saying about white people. And you expect somebody like Scott Adams to be banished because
how you got this big bitch up there, that fucked up hair, and you can I could tell from a mile away that she don't like white people. And she up there beside a white woman. And she's sitting here preaching, I guarantee you, some BS.
Because he said what he said. Listen, I got a whole bunch of clips. This is one of two clips I'm going to play.
When people are like, well, why are you a feminist? Because it is part of my ancestry.
Feminism is destroying women. It is.
Intellectual legacy and heritage to be so.
Okay, and I bet you're single. Guarantee it.
I'm not going to leave my ancestors' intellectual labor on the table because white...
You don't know about for all you know, your ancestors wasn't slaves. They could have been slave owners. Sonny Hostin thought that she was from the Puerto Rican line when she's got this, her ancestors are from Spain and they were slave owners. And she always on TV talking about how we owe reparation. Well, bitch, if you're a descendant of slave owners, Miss Hostin, it sounds like you need to empty your fucking bank account.
White feminists are racist today. They've always been racist.
You're racist.
Some of them have been better than others. Some of them have had a better critique than others. Some of them have been down for the struggle for liberty.
What they have done. They know. They fear that there is no other way to be human but the way in which they are human, which is to... So, like you talk to white people, and whenever you really want to have a reckoning about it, they say stuff like,
why are you bobbing your head? You don't even know what you're talking about. Man, see, this, I'm so tired of all this. This is black fatigue right here. Even though, like I've said, it's ghetto fatigue. It's just trying to knuckle under for somebody all the time, and it's tiresome. It's like, yo, I'm not doing it, bruh. Not doing it. Not doing it.
it's just human nature. If y'all had all of this power, you would have done the same thing. Right?
As you're preaching to yet another black person, why are two black people talking about white people? Why ain't you talking to a white person?
Right? And it's like, no, that's what white humans did. White human beings.
Dude, I've been seeing a lot of videos where there's preachers, there was a preacher that, y'all can look it up on the Hodge twins. I'm almost positive Officer Tatum's done it. It's a preacher saying that black people haven't built anything. Talking about in Africa. Talking about once the British left, all the train tracks and everything, nothing was maintained, nothing taken care of, so now none of it's there. Like, I've been watching a lot of videos on this. You'll have to check through my stuff to find all the different ones, but it's insane that black preacher was just talking about black people good for nothing is what he said. And I didn't hear anything about it because I want to say it's an older video.
Thought there's a world here and we own it. Prior to
That's
then,
what you're doing
black
right
and
now.
brown people have been sailing across oceans, interacting with each other for centuries without total subjugation, domination, and colonialism. We have seen.
Then why don't you move to one of the countries without colonialism? Go, all of you. Anyone that agrees with what she says, go to a country that does not have colonialism or ties to it. Granted, yeah, they fucking were just stripping. They were trying to get all the money they could from all of these countries when they went there. But they made it better than what it was. They built up, not tear down.
What a show this iteration of treatment of other human beings means, and that my hope is that we would do it differently, you know, in the moments when we have some power. We will not do it perfectly, but I do think that all of us can sort of agree that a politics that says like there are superior and inferior human beings just isn't the way to go. And that's the thing that white people don't trust us to do because they are so corrupt.
Look at you.
Their thinking is so morally and spiritually bankrupt about power that they can't they fear viscerally.
She goes on to say more, but I got this one clip that y'all, I'm telling you, like,
Tatum.
Look at this. I mean, listen to this. And you cannot tell me that he can't say this, but people can get on and say this stuff. Roll the clip.
What are white people superior?
Why has it only been some big black woman? If I'm not mistaken, they are the most women that are single. They can't get men. And I think men-wise, I want to say it's the Asian men and the black women are the most single. But I'm just talking about the black women he's showing.
What exactly are white people superior at?
And I think it's funny that she just laughed, even though she's lighter skinned than I am.
Real good at violence.
Violence. Genocide. It's like stealing people's lives
What?
just because they feel like it.
If you are white and you know this is happening and you say nothing, then you're a kid.
Why are you talking in front of that camera that a white man made, huh? Why is this video on the internet that a white man made, huh? Oh, you just want to reap the benefits.
Killer too.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Insecurity. Pretending.
Fear. Being fearful of nothing.
Being ignorant.
Blame.
Letting their egos control their every move. Superior.
Listen to these people, man.
What exactly are white people superior?
You know damn well I wish my ancestors, like, look, I'm part Cherokee, so my ancestors on that side, they lost land from my other ancestors that came here. I wish my other ancestors wouldn't have bought a single black slave. I wish they'd have just done it their fucking selves. And I'm sure I'll catch flack for saying that, but I wish they wouldn't have. Because we wouldn't have none of this shit going on right now. Because every African that comes here, they bust their ass. They ain't disrespectful. But, yeah. The thing is, they don't seem to understand if they didn't get to come to the best country in the world, then they would have been sold off to like Saudi Arabia, Iran, somewhere over there, Egypt. They'd have been slaves over there. I mean, they already bought 75% of all African slaves in the slave trade. The white man only took 25%. We didn't go into Africa and capture them. They just pulled up on a boat because the diseases and stuff would have killed them. So all these fools saying this should be happy that they're in the best country in the world. Not to mention that if all our ancestors didn't meet when they met and did what they did when they did it, then their offsprings wouldn't have met whoever, and therefore we wouldn't be here. So every one of these people talking wouldn't be here had they not been picked up or whatever, because a lot of them, their ancestors came here on their own will. They just assume, since they're brown, that their ancestors were slaves. But do you really know?
Where you're at.
Oppression, gaslighting,
Bitch, you're lighter than me.
intellectualization, oppression.
Oh, fuck off,
What
white
exactly
bitch.
are white people superior at?
Taking what's not there.
Taking our ideas.
Gentrification.
Appropriating things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other
Look, I'm tired of hearing that. I heard white women that braid their hair taking it from the black woman. That's black woman hair right there. Right there. What you braiding that shit for? You're putting horse weave in your hair, but yet the white woman is the one stealing y'all's braiding. Because that's what African tribes were doing. They were braiding their fucking hair. The fuck out of here, man. This shit gets on my nerves,
and
bro.
making you believe that they invented it.
Maybe they're thinking of it as repurposing. It's like recycle and repurpose.
As my grandma would say.
Why y'all all sound like you're white and either gay or got money? Y'all in there talking shit about people you don't know. Just like you ain't out robbing someone, but I could say that's what black people good at. Not all black people rob and steal, just like not all white people are like what y'all are saying. The shit is annoying. This actually does get under my skin.
The white folks,
Damn.
they'll take it if you don't copyright it.
They are very good
What?
at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
Anyone's going to take something if you don't copyright it. That's why there's copyrights. To stop people from taking it. But it ain't just the white guy doing it. It's anybody. Oh, how is he just sitting there? See, I feel like I paused it too much. This shit drives me up over the moon.
They forgot whether conservative, like white
I
people.
thought that was a
really
woman.
good.
Man, I thought that was a girl. Dang, bro.
Get him, Tatum.
Supremacy.
How about claiming that, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female?
Okay, so the white DNA comes from the black female. I don't understand why some of them are so much darker than others. But if that's the case, then why are you talking shit about what's in you then? Because if black women have white DNA in them, then why is it white people are bad? That means we got it from you because it's in your DNA. How about all humans are related in some way, shape, or form? We're just different colors.
No.
So what exactly are white people superior at?
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating.
Manipulation.
Withholding information.
Wow.
Telling lies.
They're white.
Now, they mad at
Thank you
Scott
for
Adams
stopping that video.
for what he said. But listen to how people openly talk about white people that are black. Now, Scott Adams was looking at an article and saying that, according to the article that he researched, that black people felt more than 50% felt a disdain for white people. I know it to be true because I grew up black. I've been black my whole life. I grew up around nothing but black people. And black people are probably, in my opinion, because I don't have any experience living around white people, but when I was growing up, black people are the most racist people that I know. We couldn't stand white people when I was growing up. We could not stand white.
I mentioned this in one other video, but whenever I was in middle school, this kid, I'm not going to say his last name, but his name was Charles. And he was a black kid. His daddy was a lawyer, and his mama was a doctor. And like I've said, I always hung out with my black friends. I ate with them at lunch. I did everything with them. They were my homies. One day we're sitting there at lunch, and he's like, yo, man, what the fuck? I'm like, what? He's like, you want to be black or something? I said, no, why? He's like, why you always sitting with it? That's when my friends, they jumped in, they're like, yo, man, leave him the fuck alone. Yo, that's our boy. But it's like, what the fuck you mean I'm trying to be black? I don't try to talk black. I wasn't doing anything trying to be black. I was just hanging out with my friends that I played football with, that I've grown up with. And he gonna start like automatically accuse me of trying to be black. Why am I sitting with them? And from that point on, I always had this thing against him. He own a barbershop now. He know who he is if he was to see this. Guarantee it.
white people. We used to call them all kind of names. We didn't want to be around white people. We felt like white people were the enemy, and we wanted nothing to do with the enemy. You couldn't date white women when I was growing up because you would sell out Uncle Tom Coon.
Yeah, that's all. It seems like just about half the white girls in my school dated black dudes. Some point or another, my baby mama, she did. But yeah.
You brought a white girl home. That was a death sentence to your.
I didn't say they could bring them home. Now they may not have been able to bring them home. I don't know about that. Now this was back in the 80s, or not 80s. This was in the early 90s, mid 90s. Is when I'm talking about 95. Which, I mean, yeah, there were some tensions. There were some racial beefs going on at school. I'm sure it wasn't okay for these white girls to take their black boyfriend home. I'm almost 1,000% sure of that. Because back in the mid 90s, early 90s, yeah. If he's saying it was a thing when he was growing up, and I want to say he's 10 years younger than me at least.
The reputation. I mean, everything was negative towards white people. If you somehow wear your pants around your waist and try to get an education, you trying to be white, as if it's a derogatory thing. And I don't know why black people be lying about this. Is that, to be honest, black people have so much more disdain for white people.
Yeah, they do, and that's why a lot of people do exactly what I did. I mean, like I said, growing up, like I didn't understand why my dad sometimes. I could get the vibe that he didn't want to be around it. But you get to a point, you tried to be nice, you're trying to get along with people, and then yet they keep on, just like you just seen the video of all of them talking shit about white people. So why the fuck we gonna help you then? That's what I say. Yeah, in the hoods, they definitely don't want white people around. So when someone gets shot, don't call our 911, come up with another number. Have a black EMT come out there with a black cop and have them deal with it. Why is it white people got to come save everybody, but at the same time be catching shit for it? It's just
and white
annoying.
people against black people, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't live around white people, but I have seen black people go after whites. I haven't seen white people go after black people.
I haven't either.
Personal experience in life. And then you have people online saying all this, and then Scott Adams just gives his opinion based on his experience, and you go look at his comment section on the Twitter. All the way down to Twitter, black folks are attacking him, proving his point.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I truly don't care. I've said it in other videos. Damn, you can call me racist. You can call me whatever you want. I know I'm not one. That's why, like, I would never let comments get on my nerves. Because I don't care. I mean, look, this is me. That's it. This is me. I ain't trying to damn, like, I don't see why some people take everything so damn serious online. I don't get it. Now, if they're attacking him in public, that's different. It's not even close, if you ask me.
But I just thought I'd make a comment because I honestly, for the most part, I agree with what he's saying. Because listen to the way black folks act and the way they talk. Look at the crime statistics. The most dangerous cities, most uneducated cities, highest abortion rate.
I remember I was sitting out in the hood about 3 o'clock in the morning. My friend Junior, he went inside to go take care of some stuff. And this old black lady, she had to be in her late 70s. Had to be. She's like, baby. And I looked, I was like, huh, what? She's like, what you doing out here, sweetheart? I was like, I'm just waiting on my friend. She's like, you need to tell him to hurry on up now. The cops see you out here. You white. You out here in the hood. You got to go, baby. I don't want you getting in no trouble. And I said, yes, ma'am. I will be on my way as soon as he comes back out that house. She's like, all right, now you be safe and get on out of here. You don't need to be here. And that was her being nice, trying to let you know.
Go down the list. And when people keep it real, people get mad. What we should do as a solution, I'm going to finish this video, because I got to get on the radio for 3 hours, is that acknowledge the culture in which black folks have received. Our leaders are destroying us.
Yeah, they are.
They are living in penthouses and they trying to act like we still live in slavery.
Exactly.
We can go down the list of all these things. We need to really look in the mirror and do better before we get mad at Scott Adams.
Get
killing
mad
each
at
other every
another
day,
race.
hating on each other. The only racism that I've heard has come from black people against me. Uncle Tom,
Exactly.
bootlicker, sellout. You hate.
I have heard that a lot on here, is where like Kingdom Reacts, Hodge Twins, Officer Tatum, all of them say the only racism they catch is from other black people.
Your mama, you hate your own skin, you hope you die. All this come from black. I don't hear that from white people. So I'm just keeping it real. Keep it real, fix the issues, and then I believe you have an adequate chance
When
to do
keeping
something
it
different.
real
Should
goes
Scott
wrong.
Adams have said what he said, the way he said it? It's his opinion. I wouldn't have said that in that way. I think some people may think he's a racist because of what he said. But at the end of the day, most people don't want to hear the truth. And I just showed you a black man saying exactly what he's saying. And I could find other videos.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool. But when he said it's the end of the world.
And that's the thing, man. They always say white people are racist, and then they act like black people can't be racist. It's like, then you don't know the definition of racist. You don't know the definition. You shouldn't be allowed to say it. But these Democrats have pushed it and pushed it and pushed it to where it doesn't mean anything. That's why all these people are throwing it out there, because I guarantee you any of them black people that were in that video he played, they actually caught racism, their mouth would change what it says, because they haven't caught racism. Racism isn't what they're talking about.
White people, black people can talk crazy about white people. Black
Yeah,
people can talk crazy
all
about white
the
people
time.
all day long till the cows come home. Call them evil and all this other stuff, and then a white man say anything about black people, and
Ooh.
somehow he's racist. He don't deserve to be on the air. It's a shame. Anyway, comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this video. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Hey, if you enjoy.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Does it bother you that all that was going on? Did any of that happen to you whenever you went from middle school to high school? Did your friends change? Did people branch off? Let me know, and let me know what you'd like for me to react to next, and give you my 2 cents. Anyhow, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day, a beautiful night, whatever it may be. Take it easy.